Hi there, Kris here with another Way of the Brush conversation. This week, I have Steve, aka The Strain, aka Naooa. Noah, something like that. Anyway, that's what his handle is in the vault for all the vault members out there. And so, say hello to Steve, aka The Strain. How are you?
I'm pretty good now. Even though
Pretty
it's pretty
good.
late here, but I'm good.
Is that it? So? Are we looking at your man cave right there?
Um, yeah, I go for man cave. I pretty much done up for myself. That's where I do all my painting and gaming, I suppose. So yeah, we'll call it a man cave
We'll call it the man cave.
in the making.
Now, Steve, I pretty much asked this of everybody. How long have you been wargaming? A wargamer.
Well, I'm probably different from a lot of people that have been on here. I'm definitely more of a collector and painter than an actual gamer.
Okay.
Even though I still watch all the battle reports and I've read codexes and all that, but for me, I just rather to actually collect and paint and that sort of thing. But I suppose maybe when I was like 10, about 15 years ago, I got brought to my first ever games workshop shop. And I got a pack of, I think it was Orc Boys, one with just the sluggers and the choppers.
Okay.
And they just came like 4 pieces. And I remember I had like 4 paints. I think I used like my sister's nail varnish to paint them and everything.
Yeah.
And I spent like two weeks doing up these masterpieces. And then my dog came in and ate them all. That put me off the hobby for, I'd say, 6, 7 years. I'd forgotten about it completely.
Really? Holy moly.
Yeah. And then I think I was reading fantasy book. I think it's Go Trek and Felix it was called.
Yep.
And I remember I got it in the library when I was 16, and then on the back it's like, oh, why don't you try the miniatures? And then I just got the flashback of the toys I used to have. So I suppose maybe spent about 2 years just on the website looking, and then I suppose kind of like window shopping. And then when I came 18, I finally took the plunge, and oh, I seen actually was the 6th edition fancy box set, the Battle for Skull Pass. And I said I'd buy that one.
Oh, okay.
And that was the first ever set I bought. So I'd say maybe about 4 years now. I'm into it.
So you're
4 years.
you prefer the fantasy side of things that Games Workshop produces?
I don't know, to be honest. I kind of really go in and out of phases, which is a problem with me. Like I can never stick to collecting one army
Sure.
at all. But at the start I liked fantasy, but I think some of the new bigger models that have come out for 40k are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I find 40k models are easier to paint with the metals and that sort of thing. Whereas the fantasy, it's a lot more detailed painting. So that's just my
Yeah.
point of view.
Well, there's a lot more cloths and stuff like that in fantasy.
Cloths and skin tones and
Yeah.
like if you're nurgle you have guts and all that sort of thing. Whereas, you get like a Nemesis Dreadnought or something from a Space Marine, it's just metal you're painting really. You
Yeah.
can
Big
detail
flat
the metal.
surfaces.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I suppose maybe the very first thing I bought was that fantasy set because it was on sale from I think that was like $30 for the 100 and something miniatures you got in it, which was amazing.
The
So
Black
I
Reach.
just bought that. Huh?
The Black Reach one.
No, it was the fantasy. It was the
Oh,
Battle
okay.
of Skull Pass, Goblins
Yeah.
and Dwarves. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
just got that and bought a few paints, and I started from there. It's horrendous at the start, but I remember I told myself you got 40 goblins with it. There's only like 4 colors in them. And I said that if I was still bad after 40 of these goblins, I'd give it up. But I'd improved on the last one, so I kept buying ever since. No, I go in on a phase like I'll go online and I'll buy loads and loads, and then I won't buy anything for ages. But now I'm kind of getting into a constant flow. I have like maybe 2 boxes of unpainted miniatures, and that's it.
Oh, really? Wow. I
Pretty
wish I
well.
was in that spot.
No, I got the Dark Vengeance starter set there for Christmas just to buy it, and I couldn't bring myself to paint all the cultists for so long. Did it in about 3 months just looking at them. And eventually I said I would. Oh, that's probably the longest I've ever put something off. Yeah, probably will be.
So you don't play that often then?
I've played 3 games of fantasy and 2 of 40k, and none of them with my armies. And in all of Ireland, there's only 2 games workshop shops, and I've played all them in there with them showing me how to play. But
Right.
I'd go online and I would, like I'm pretty sure if I went to play a game, I'd be pretty quick picking up because I've nearly all the codexes and I just love reading through them. It's just the way I am.
Right.
So I suppose just really the fact there's no Games Workshop shop around there, and there wouldn't be really a place for me to play with other people.
Now,
And then yeah,
sorry to interrupt you there, but
no, you're okay.
now, are there any other like hobby stores or anything like that where people gather, or even game clubs or anything like that?
There's maybe now I've noticed lately. I suppose maybe back then there wasn't, but in the last maybe 2 years I've noticed 2 other ones. But another problem with me is because I'm more of a collector and painter. For me to go off and buy, let's say, like 10 boxes of the same unit, whether it's Necron Warriors or Orc Boys, it wouldn't make sense to me to buy them. If I was to create an army, it would be like one. There'd be a few units I buy multiple of, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
I don't play all the time to buy 10 boxes of Warriors or
Yeah,
200
because you're not that big into the
Permagon.
game, right?
No, I just love the models. I love the lore, and I love playing games. I watch all the battle reports. Like I'm not against gaming. It's just
Yeah.
for me, I couldn't just buy loads and loads of the same models. That I'd much rather have loads of different ones. Have one of everything.
Now,
Oh, well.
do you have any other like non-Games Workshop models?
Yeah, I went on to. That's one of the questions I said. I went on to Cyborg. I think it's Cyborg.
Okay. Yeah.
Or Skyboard allowed us. I got 1 or 2 models there, and then there's also an English one called Godslayer.
Oh, not familiar with that one, no.
They're pretty good, and they have really good models for if you want to do subbing in. Like for the dwarves, their dwarf rides on a big massive grizzly bear, which is pretty cool. So I have him in my dwarf army. And stuff like that. There's a buck on a polar bear. Like just the nice standalone models.
Yeah.
I think if you play games, there's like 10 models in the skirmish thing, but they're really good beastmen stuff as well. So I'd buy them to kind of sub them in. But it mainly be Games Workshop just because I get them online and just ship them in. So those would be just them.
That's very cool. Yeah, there's another English one, I think called Mercer or something, or Merce. Anyway, they produce like these big like monsters, and it's like druids and stuff like that, and it kind of has this whole Nordic and Celtic feeling to it, and very cool.
I know most people complain about prices, Games Workshop and that, but I just think they're the best looking models out there. So I just don't. If I'm going to spend the money, which is expensive, but as well to spend it on something.
Well, I a lot of times they do have the best looking models.
Yeah.
I find that they have the best plastic models.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you compete with right now. Nobody can compete with how well Games Workshop's kits are. Although Malifaux plastics are pretty darn good, but they're really tiny and fiddly, and
Yeah, but people always complain about what's the game? War Machine and that.
Yeah.
If you look at some mods of Nagash or Glotkin or any of those new ones, or the Imperial Knight, there's nothing out there. I know they're more expensive.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there that comes close to that detail in plastic.
No.
Nothing I've seen anyways.
No. Well, in War Machine, the models, for a long time, I wouldn't even bother with War Machine because of the look of the models. I did not care for them.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, but once I started playing the game, then that's when I started getting into it and started getting into the models, and and of course their sculpting has gotten better over the last couple of years, and so it's very tolerable. But yeah, Games Workshop, it's hard to beat those plastics.
Especially as well, I know from a game point of view, it could be good, 'cause cheaper, better game. Mainly from a painter point of view, that's why I just stick with Games Workshop, because go for the best, or not the best, but what I like for painting anyways. So, I'll probably get some upset commenters now on YouTube me posting about Games Workshop.
Let them complain. I'm okay with controversy. Feel free to state your opinion.
I've got a big list of controversial topics here. So.
And so, how is the painting in Ireland? I understand that you guys have very cloudy, wet weather.
Um, Ireland's summer probably consists of maybe about 20 sunny days, and they are scattered between April and September. You could have your summer in April, you could have it in August,
Really?
June, July.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
like last year we had snow and rain for June, July, and August we had a week of sun, rain, September we had 2 weeks of sun.
Sheesh.
So there's no predictability whatsoever. And then I'd say it rains about 300 days of the year. It's pretty bad.
Really?
You get used to it, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd wilt and die.
Like, the thing is, we don't get much snow.
Right.
Like, our winters only ever go to, like, -2, which is, I don't know what, Fahrenheit.
Really?
Yeah, we don't get
bad
severe
at all.
winters. We don't get severe, like, but it's just standard cloudy rain. No humidity whatsoever.
Oh, that's the best. Here we get humid and frigid cold, like stick your nostrils together, and like when it's humid, the cold, like you just can't escape it. It penetrates your clothing. You could have like 10 layers of wool on, and it just the humidity just penetrates that and just makes you chilled to the bone all day long. And that's what our winters are like, and that's like from November till sometimes April. They're just cold, just bitter cold, and wind, harsh.
Yeah, like here it's unpredictable, but it's just the same. And then every now and then you might get a bit of cold or a bit of sunshine, but that's really it. Like, so people are just used to it. Like, that's why if you're ever in Ireland and it's sunny, all the Irish people are like 100 times happier because they know they'll probably never see the sun again when it's out. No.
Yeah. I definitely, Ireland is a place that I'd like to visit. It's on my bucket list. It's on the bucket list.
That's quite all right.
Yeah.
But I'm painting wise, I've never had any problem with weather affecting my painting now. I can understand if it's humid that you have to paint differently, but there's nothing here now whatsoever that'll stop you.
Well, I know like a lot of people from all over the place, like I remember there was one fella, he was from Brazil, and he was concerned because he's constantly humidity and his paint was, being funny on him. And so, I was just kind of curious. I like to try to, gather as much information as I can from people all over the place. And, these whole conversations and, doing Way the Brush affords me opportunity to speak with, people all over the planet. And, so I'm trying to utilize it as much as possible here.
Spread the love all over the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and spread the love. Yeah, exactly. Because, what's the point of painting without love? If you're not enjoying what you're doing.
Around.
Yeah. And so, speaking of painting, what are you currently working on?
Well, as I said to you, I had an awful problem with jumping from army to army to army. Like, I'd literally just go on, pick a budget for myself and just pick random things. Okay. And then my shopping cart would always be way over my budget. Then I'd close my eyes, I just X off random things, and whenever I'd left, I'd pick. So at the start of this year, I said I'd do like a New Year's resolution. So that for every 4 things I'd buy, 3 would be for the one selected army, and then 1 would be just for my own indulgence. So I've started Dark Eldar from January till now. That's what I'm mainly focusing on now. Would be a Dark Eldar army, because I know people are against their fluff and the lore, but I don't care. I just think they're like really cool looking models. They look fun to paint.
I like Dark Eldar. I don't think there's anything wrong with their fluff.
I love it too, but anyway.
Well, but there's some people who, it's a little too racy or whatever. I mean, I think that's your own.
What I like about them, is just the fact that Tyranids aren't really evil, they're just aliens. Chaos, they're kind of evil, but they're still human. Whereas Dark Eldar are just insane. Like, there's no way about it. Like, you can't.
Well, it's
put a good face on them. Just absolutely insane. Like, I just love it.
Well, they're insane to everybody else, but to them, I mean, they still manage to function, right? They still have a city. They still have, travel. They still get together to do raiding parties. I mean, there's got to be some semblance of sanity and cohesiveness to them if they still manage to pull that off over thousands and thousands of years. They can't be that crazy, but I think But to outsiders, right?
Special kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they get a kick out of peeling the flesh off of orcs. I mean, that's crazy, but
Hey, who doesn't these days?
yeah, who's not curious about what's underneath that layer of orkiness, you know? What does an orc tooth taste like, right? I mean, who knows?
Pretty sure it tastes like popcorn, but
It tastes like popcorn. It might. Now you got me thinking. Now, what does orc teeth taste like? Okay, so
I'll write you next week and you can tell me then. I'm gonna find one hidden in Canada and the hills.
yeah, in the mountains.
Yeah.
Better luck finding Bigfoot or Yeti.
Well, I suppose I just got a shipment of stuff in today. So
So it's
all
Christmas.
Dark Eldar stuff.
So it's Christmas for you today.
Huh?
It was Christmas for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've been pretty good to myself lately. What I usually do is, you can get the online vouchers on the Games Workshop website.
Yep.
Every week I buy them for myself, send them to myself, so I can just keep building up like a credit.
Right.
I might, put maybe $30, $40 each week, and then every month I'll just go on a splurge of what I built up.
Ah, that's interesting.
Just the way I do it is keep topping myself up and not buy anything, and then when I've painted all my models, I'll see what my balance is. I'll spend it all, and once I have that painted, I'll just keep doing like that. So basically, I don't buy. As I said, I only have 15 little models unpainted,
Yeah.
2 Tau Forces, and that's it.
Okay. Similar topic but different subject. Are you a married man?
Me? No, I am not a man.
No family?
Since you're the painted. Oh God, no.
So
family,
so no responsibilities other than to yourself.
Yeah, I'm final year of college. Gotta pay for that.
Oh, okay. Well, because the
Work.
way you're describing squirreling away the vouchers, it sounds like the work of a married man who's trying to keep the old lady off his back about how much he's spending on GW stuff. And
I think I'm trying to. It's kind of maybe like schizophrenic. I'm trying to keep myself away, the buyer in me and the sensible part of me. So
right.
Maybe one day a month I can indulge myself.
No, because it makes sense to me. I mean, because I have a tendency to overspend, and I mean, it's gotten me in trouble once or twice, and
See, I usually just pay by card every time, so I just figured that if I keep popping up, I can really spend what I have, so I can't overspend.
Right.
But I have, but oh well. But yeah. So I got the new big Dark Eldar jet, the one that's 10 inches long.
Oh, the big bomber.
One. Yeah, I just got that. I haven't really opened it yet.
Ooh.
And
I like that model.
Mandrakes. And what you call those 2 weird things? The Kronos and Pain Engine?
Yeah, the Talos and the Kronos.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. The Mandrakes. Mandrakes aren't bad. They look really cool, but unfortunately, their rules always kind of are rather lackluster. It's kind of like...
Maybe I just thought they looked cool to paint. They look like a challenged paint as well, so
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, because they always show them as shadowy, and it looks like an opportunity for a little bit of OSL maybe in the runes, and
exactly. So
yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for.
They got that oily jet black skin, and
the greens and the browns are kind of all shading it together. So I'm looking forward for them. That's what I'm painting at the moment. But actually, I have to finish off Nagash and then a Raider, and then
a Raider. Okay, yeah. So we have a picture of a Raider that you're working on,
which is related to one of the questions.
Okay, lay it on me, man.
Okay then. And as I said to you, people always freeze when you ask have you any questions, so I actually wrote a list of stuff to pick you out on. But anyway, yeah, just for the Raider, I was able to paint in the lines, give a kind of a purple effect or whatever.
Yeah, I can see that.
But by using an airbrush, is there no way to kind of get maybe a glow or a hue along the bottom edges? Because I've seen in a lot of pictures when I was looking up ways to paint a Raider, a lot of kind of maybe a fade in colour, so maybe kind of black to purple. And I tried to see if I could achieve it with a paintbrush, but I couldn't. And then I think maybe they just use an airbrush. But I don't have. I don't think I'll get one.
Well, yes, you can do it by brush, and you can do it by airbrush. Airbrush, it tends to be a little bit easier,
Yeah.
but there's all sorts of nuance to an airbrush as well. So it's not like people have this impression that just pick up the airbrush and you're just going to go to it and get it, master it right away. That's not the case.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it by hand, yes, you can.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do, say, for example, like a 2-brush blend, or just go about a wet blend. For large surfaces like that, like those big armored panels along its side, I definitely would recommend picking up acrylic retarder, or sometimes it's often called slow dry. And basically what that does is it slows the drying process of the acrylic paint, giving it a longer work time, and it allows you to achieve those blends. And a vehicle like that, it'll you'll be able to do it very easily. And in fact, it would be really good practice to do it on a model like that before trying to carry those skills over to a smaller model.
Well, yeah, I was gonna hopefully, if I was able to do it on the Raider, I'd do it on the big bomber as well.
Yeah,
The same kind of view underneath.
Yeah.
Because what I originally wanted to do is the way I'm painting my Dark Elder. I didn't send you a picture, but I should have. Is I was basically getting a few silver undercoats, and then I used red, blue, and green washes to kind of give them multi-different color kind of shining armor.
Okay.
And I wanted to do that on the Raider itself, but I couldn't think of just painting the whole thing silver and then just putting washes over, because then it'll just look rank like. So I didn't want to do that. That's why I just went with the black in the end and the purple, and then I'd hope that if I get the purple glow on all the vehicles, it'll set them all up. We'll see.
Well, you must have seen the videos a while back where I was showing blending color with metallics to achieve, certain lustrous effects.
Yeah, but I think my problem was kind of getting it evenly across the entire vehicle or something like that. That's why I wouldn't be that good at. Small models probably better, but
well,
around the whole hull of it. I suppose it's the same technique, just up.
yeah. You can head down to your local art store as well and pick up some 1-inch flat brushes, just to try and achieve that blend across the larger panels. Of course, that does mean that you'll have to go back in and put that purple in between the panel lines again, but that's not a huge issue, right?
No, not at all.
Or even if you want to have that glow at the bottom of the panel lines, and the glow is on the panels themselves, you should be able to do that with any, like the regular, if you're using just Games Workshop brushes, you should be able to do that with just one of those brushes and just achieve that light glow. Now, if you wanted to stay with that black and have those purple lines and have that slight glow in the bottom, you can take your purple and thin it way down with Lamayan medium and do a glazing process where basically you would draw, like, say, for example, if you're going for a glow at the bottom, you pretty much draw a almost like a quarter pie shape, a quarter of a circle really, at the bottom end of those plates. You just kind of glaze it in. So you put one light thin little glaze down. It would be barely noticeable, but once you put down 2 or 3 more layers, it becomes very apparent. And so what you end up doing is, so you lay it down on, say for example, it was, say, a centimeter away from that line. And then the next time layer you put down, it's, say, 3/4 of a centimeter or half a centimeter, you know what I mean? And so you just work it smaller and smaller, each of those little layers, and you'll build that color way up like that. Glazing is another one where it does take a bit of practice to get right. Really, the big trick of it is getting that paint consistency down to the right thinness, and also having the patience to let the layer dry before you apply another layer. Those are really the big things about glazing. But a lot of painters do it to spectacular effect. And short of an airbrush, those are some of the best ways to go about creating those transitions in there. Getting that really nice effect is either glazing the effect or wet blending the effect.
Perfect. I shall try that and I'll show you all my results.
Yes,
However
please.
good or bad they may be.
No, good or bad, it doesn't matter. Any result, as long as you're trying it, any result is a good result. Because, like I'm sure you've heard me mention it before, like, nobody does this stuff and is a master at it the first time they try it. Everybody, everybody falls. And, so don't be afraid of failing. It's, not trying that you really should be more concerned with. But yes.
I've never, I always know my models won't be as good as the ones you see, but what I always do to myself is like when I get a good big model like Nagash or something like that, I always tell myself like, well, right, I'm going to take 3 times as long and get all the details right. But then like halfway through it, you're like, oh, I want to get it normally done. Like and then it ends up finishing like the same level as it always is. I start out with good intentions, but then just the finishing touch, and I'm just like, no, can't do it.
Yeah, no, I know, and I had done Nagash for a painting series there for Mini Wargaming, and
yes, I got Nagash the day before you started, and I was like, yes. Then I seen you do the ultimate blasphemy and pull out an airbrush. Like, no.
Well, that
you
was
there on the step 1, taking about 2 minutes on the spirits. Me there for 3 days trying to paint these spirits.
Yeah, well, and see, unfortunately, I'm under deadlines, and so I have to use, techniques that get me through to the end quicker. Because, I really wish I could have shown blending the spirits, like wet blending. I think would have been a lot of fun to do on the spirits. Because it would have got some really good results there and probably topped it off with some airbrushing. Lately, I've been kind of, like mixing up techniques. I've been airbrushing and dry brushing and wet blending and airbrushing and, just throwing all sorts of techniques out there.
Like you'll see, I sent you a picture of Nagash as well, I think. But I lost the head to him. Major disappointment.
Okay, how did you lose the head?
Because like I tried to watch the Games Workshop videos where that Duncan Rhodes fella puts together and all the pieces, and I was like, no, this is too complicated. So then I went onto your page, and you were like, I put, you assemble it in like 5 pieces or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just came back, and one day there was 4 pieces.
Jeez. Do you have pets?
Yes, but they're not upstairs. So I doubt it was them now. But I'm really thinking I've got to the stage now. He's been headless for, I'd say, a month.
Jeez.
So I'm just trying to think what I might do to just stick on a head, like conversion or whatever. It doesn't have to look good, but
yeah, give him something anyway.
Yeah.
You know what actually probably looked pretty cool? Do you have any of the other undead models with the big skulls and like the big Sphinx head on the undead the Tomb Kings? The big Sphinx model?
Necrosphinx.
Yeah, the Necrosphinx. Like the one with his big face and his, he's got the big King Tut headpiece.
That'll do me grand. Yes, that'll be him. Thank you. I was thinking for ages. I was looking at I think it's the Bone Giant, but I was like, I think the head will be too small.
Yeah. I think the Sphinx would actually look pretty cool on that.
Sorry, just looking at the model there. I don't know if it's still up on the screen or whatever.
Yep.
But kind of leads on to one of the questions as well, is that the Games Workshop paints, the standard little containers you get.
Mm-hmm.
How much are they in Canada? Like for one of them, about $5?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're €3 here for one of them.
Okay.
So the older ones, it's kind of hexagonal.
Yep.
Pots. Do you think there's any disadvantage of using them over the newer ones? Just
no.
Because where I got my first ever set, a woman there sells 4 of them for $2. I'm saving
yeah, buy it up.
I'm saving $15 each time.
Yeah, buy it up. Buy it all up.
I went into her one day and I handed her 20 quid and I said, here, so I got to bring home 40 paints for $25.
Yeah. No, go back and buy more, because those paints, they're a little thinner bodied than what Games Workshop produces now. You notice the new paints, they're fairly thick and they're gloopy like, and that's fine, because many different artists use varying thicknesses of paint, and that older hexagonal bottle it was a little bit thinner bodied paint, and
Yeah.
when it was thinned down, it would glaze really, really well. And it's really, really good when you're working it in really, really thin fashion. It had
Yeah.
really good pigment, and yeah, so if you can score more of that stuff, by all means, man, you can't go wrong picking it up. Other than because
I
it's
think the
old paint.
washes, the new ones are better. The shades and the washes, they're very good. The new ones, the old washes, they're not that good. Like Ogre and Flish and Bad Ad Black, they're not that good. Whereas I
Well,
think the new washes are definitely a lot better. At least the consistency is different than anyone's.
yeah,
You know?
the older version, the Bad Ab Black, and that they tend to
Yeah.
be they feel like they're a little thicker when you compare them to the new versions, and so I think
Yeah.
they I think they perfected that recipe.
Yeah.
But essentially, like even those hexagonal bottles, so that they had the inks for them as well, and they were fantastic colors as well. And all you need to do to make those act like the new Games Workshop stuff is to add something called Flow Aid, and
Good.
that will make the ink flow into the recesses, just like the shade washes act today. So, no,
Okay.
you're definitely on a good path there, picking up those older paints like that, especially if they're still good. The other
Yeah, they're
hard,
all fine. I haven't got one single one that's been dried up or anything. And then she sells the brushes for half price too, so I get them for like $3. And then
oh
the same
jeez,
brushes you get for like $7. So I just keep going there, and then she has a few boxes of stuff there, but they're 50% off. So it's great. I don't know why, and I don't say anything. I don't complain.
no, 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 yeah, you don't want to spoil that one. No,
Yeah,
and keep that one to yourself and just hoard that all up because
yeah. Because I'll go online and I'll buy the odd paint. Like if I buy a model and I'll see like, oh, I need that paint, I'll buy it. But I'd never really buy online. 'Cause, like for the same three paints, it's nearly four times the price. Like, so, no, not worth it.
yeah, no, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. That's those sound like some great deals.
I know. Only in Ireland.
Only in some mom and pop shop in some forgotten town are they hanging on to all this Citadel stuff. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
see, and that's why I kind of like to go to Europe because I'd like to check out some of these hobby places and stuff because I'm sure that a lot of these gems are just sitting out there waiting to be rediscovered, and you know,
Yeah, I'm sure. Plus, the likes of America, a lot of things are a lot more commercialized.
yes,
Just
yeah,
the way things are. Like, so I suppose over here. Oh, oh well.
yeah. Well, if you can't buy it from Walmart, then it doesn't exist, right?
There's something else. Bear Walmart? I don't know. But what if now?
Yeah.
All right then.
Okay. So
What?
Nagash, was that it?
Yeah.
Just with the color, or was there something
Um,
else with him?
let me think.
Now, what did you use for the rotten flesh in his torso?
Oh, that was actually really easy because I was looking online and I was like, I don't really want the normal like kind of white flesh.
Yeah.
So I put down dryad bark first, and then I did Bugman's Glow,
Oh, okay.
and then just Bugman's Glow, yeah, dry bark, but Bugman's Glow, and then I just did two washes of Seraphim, that brown wash,
Yeah, Seraphim Sepia.
and then a black wash, and then I just highlighted some bits with the Bugman's Glow again. I wanted kind of more of the fleshy look.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah, no, no, it makes perfect sense.
I'm
I
gonna
like
get
it.
the racks for Dark Elder. I'm gonna do them the same. I like kind of more human-like-ish, rather.
Ah, I gotcha. Okay.
Especially if he's in like a full skeleton army. I'd like him to kind of stand out, a
Yeah.
different color. Oh, yeah, so him. And then the cape was just one solid color of the old paintings, Necron Abyss. It was really good. Just went on so
Okay.
smoothly.
Yep.
And it's kind of a glazed texture to it too.
Yeah.
So I just didn't need to put anything else onto it. Now I'll finish it up a bit, but I was happy with that.
No, I like it. Looks good.
Mm.
I can see like
There.
on his cloak, on it, like where before the spirits begin there. It looks like you got that blue, and it looks like there's like little blue marks in it.
Yeah,
Do I have another image of that? No, I do not. I just wanted to see
that
what is there a design or something running along the backside or
that was I think Meridian Blue was the color.
Okay.
The other one is, again, it's no thing. I'm talking about these old paints now. This
Yeah.
is what I have.
No,
I
I
think
know
it's
which ones you're
Meridian
talking
Blue.
about.
Yeah, and that came in the white top, and that again was kind of a glazed effect when it came on.
Yeah.
But I think what happened is I left that open for a day by accident,
Oh.
and when I came back, it was no longer glazed. It was just the same color. So that's why they're kind of. It looks like it's different color blue, but just the glazing is gone off.
Huh.
It was still paint and go on to the models, but just no glaze. So again, now I haven't touched him in like a month. So I'm just pissed off because I lost the head. But,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I'll go back on him and I'll finish off more details. But once I get ahead, like I'll definitely finish him. But it's just
No.
laying me off. I was like, there's no point me going at him and then just sitting there waiting with no head on him. Completely finished.
Yeah, for sure. No, there's no point. And so you've left them free from the base and everything like that too, right?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of I'll try and paint. Like I'll mainly base coat most of my models when they're still in the sprue,
Right.
and then I paint as I assemble. I'd never assemble a model full and then paint it. It's just I don't know why. So and then the base I never put on the base till the very end as well. Oh, and then as well I just never really got into basing the models. You know, we're like, what's that stuff? Block or whatever, I don't know.
Which
The
one?
sand and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, just for basing the models. I just never got into it because I suppose when I started there was none around, and then that little shop there was none there, and then I just mainly just like all my chaos models will have their bases painted the same color. All my dark elder are different color, so that's just the way I keep it because they're all on display like so. I suppose if I was going to play with them and I started building like an army, I'd definitely base them, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you just leave them like a black base and everything like that then.
Oh well, no, but like my Chaos Army, they all have corn red bases. Dark Elder all have a certain color base. Every
okay.
army is a different color base. So just when they're on the shelf, you can tell what they belong to.
Yeah.
Base.
I got you.
That's what I do.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I do. So I think now. More question. I have a few more questions. I have some formal questions, and then I have some questions I need help with. So which do you want first?
How about this tree man? Because I got a picture of a tree man here.
In the format. I was going to say to you, what was your favorite model that you ever painted or in the rain? These are supposed to be quick fire round.
Oh, okay. We're switching gears here. Okay.
Yeah. But first of all, if you want to show that picture, we can. Then I can talk about that, and then you can think about yours.
Well, yeah. Let's stay with you for another moment here, because I'd like to talk about this tree guy here because I like this model. I don't know if I'll ever pick it up, but I do like this model, this tree man model.
Well, actually, that's also linked into everything, right? This is all going to fall like domino.
Oh,
First of all, the reason I sent you the picture is I think he's my favorite model that I've painted because my painting was okay, and then I bought that model. First of all, I think it looks really cool. And it was the first model you kind of pose in a lot of different ways and really customizable. And then Duncan Rhodes fella, he did a full 3-part series of it. And I painted exactly the way he did, highlight and all that. So I'd say it's probably one of my best painted models, I'd say. So I was happy with that. And then I remember you were on before, you were doing a conversion between him and the Avatar Kane. Didn't you mention that?
Yeah, I would love to convert this guy into an avatar, yeah.
Well then, there's a bundle online where you get 3 men.
Uh-huh.
And you get a lot of the smaller tree guys.
Okay.
Druids, and I've bought them. And I was thinking that I won't use one of the 3 men because I already have Durhu. So as a late Christmas present, I could ship you one if you promise to try and convert it into an Avatar of Kane.
I will.
Okay, then. I will ship you that because I kind of have 2 of the same things up there. Send me insane.
I will, and the first thing I'd work on is that big scary face and make the big, how the Avatar's got those big weather vane things on his helmet.
Yeah.
The big, I don't know what the heck those things are, but what the heck do you call those things on his helmet? Like corn berserkers, they all have the thing on their helmets, like these big horns, but like they're flat to their face and.
Totems? No, I know what you mean though. Yes.
They're like moose antlers almost.
Yes.
But yes, yeah. If you ship me one, I will.
That's a deal.
I will do it as an Eldar
That's
avatar.
in the next shopping list of mine. That didn't make the cut this time, but I'll make the cut the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get next. There you go. Fine by
Okay.
me.
Well, that's a deal then.
That is a deal.
And everybody else is a witness. That's a deal. And the
I
deal's a
forgot
deal.
you were videoing.
Okay, so lay a question on me.
Right, I have 4 questions in a quick fire. You have 2 minutes to answer each. You ready?
Holy crap! Okay.
1, what's your favorite model? Any range, just from painting point of view.
Eldar Phantom Titan.
Ooh, very good. Okay. 2nd, do you play anymore or do you just paint?
I do play occasionally, but I paint more. But it's a whole thing. I love to play and I love to paint, but I'm like 51% painter, 49% gamer.
Very good. 3? Yeah, question 3. If I flew over, would you play me in a game of a battle report to the death?
Absolutely.
Options,
To the death.
to the death, yeah. As you do. We Irish people don't mess around.
Oh.
Don't we?
Well, sure. If you're going to be bringing more Irish customs, then yeah, then definitely.
I'll
Because
bring a bottle of Bushmills. And it's a
there
deal.
we go. Now we're you're talking my language now. This is almost ESP going on here now. I can hear your thoughts. Okay, sorry, go.
Do you collect any other models bar Eldar? Just now.
Do I collect any other models other than Eldar? Well, I do collect War Machine, and I play Mercenaries in that. And I also play the Hordes faction minions in Hordes. But as far as Warhammer 40,000, Eldar is my main thing, other than like Harlequins. But Harlequins are, an offshoot. I'd like to go with them.
Yeah.
Dark Eldar, I've always wanted to have a witch contingent of Dark Eldar for my force because I love that Dark Eldar bomber and the fighter planes, and I love all Eldar flyers. So
You love everything.
I love it all, man. And like in fantasy, Bretonnians are my thing. Like, but apparently Bretonnians are out the door, so it's like I'm kind of sad about that. And yeah, it's but.
And then the final question of the night, or final of these questions, is did you make any New Year resolutions for painting? And if so, did you stick to it?
New Year's resolution? No, I usually don't do New Year's resolutions because old Kris has crap follow through. And,
Yeah.
and so
I hate you, old Kris.
yeah, exactly. But as far as painting is concerned, it's really it's fighting the burnout. It's fighting that drudgery, and so it's making sure that I'm meeting challenges and trying to create new challenges for myself, and just to try and keep things fresh. Always try to keep things fresh. Always try to keep it exciting, just so that that burnout stays away another day. And yeah, that's where Kris is at the moment. Unless, of course, I flip out and,
You paid anything for yourself in your free time, or do you just do it at work and that's it now?
Most of the time now, it is mostly just for work, which is why my Eldar army still sits incomplete.
Yeah. Okay.
I do paint for myself once in a while when I feel like, experimenting and trying a new technique or trying out a different line of paint, or, because I've been trying out these scale 75 paints, and these paints flow like butter. And so, which I really, really like. They cover so well. I've been playing with their metallics, and they flow so well. And they flow well in the airbrush. They flow well by just a paintbrush. So, yeah. It's things like that I try and, keep myself reinvigorated. And, again, it just keeping the burnout at bay.
Yeah, I understand. Showing the paint flow, and this is probably another question then, which is back to you answering, thank God. Or me looking for you for help, that's it. The Forge World resin, or the kind of lighter grey plastic you get.
Yep.
Forge World resin.
Mm-hmm. I've worked with plenty of those models.
they seem to like just eat the paint, or is that if I'm using the old paint, or like basically if I have a small model, usually they're like the lords or models or whatever, and you just be painting the cape, and then I go back a minute later, like all the paint has just been eaten away, it just kind of vanishes.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So okay. So you've laid a primer down on top of the model, right?
Yeah, and then I come back 20 seconds later, even by the time I turn the model back around, and the paint just kind of seems like seep away.
That's very interesting. Now you're using these paints that you got the deal on.
No, even standard like a bad and black or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just the white plastic just kind of to maybe eat away at it, like.
You're talking about the Forge World resin? Because sometimes what can end up happening with those Forge World models, and anybody who does resin casting, is sometimes because the molding process is two compounds being mixed together and then poured into a mold. Now sometimes through just mechanical error or just a manufacturing error, the mixtures can be off, and so what ends up happening is you get a slow cure in that resin. And it actually takes a little while for that resin to cure. And it may not cure properly. And so what ends up happening is it kind of stays kind of liquidy. But usually that's kind of like, it's kind of like a candy bar where, it's got a candy center to it and it's got like a hard shell. The model usually ends up like that. And then if you do something, then all of a sudden you end up with an air bubble, and then all of a sudden, and then you got this little resin starting to seep out. And
yeah, it wouldn't be maybe exactly Forge World. I think it's the Citadel Fine Cast. It's the lighter grey.
oh, it's the Citadel fine cast stuff. Oh, yeah.
But
See
what
that?
is that? Yeah, go on.
That stuff is resin. What their process for that, I'm not entirely sure, because the resin is so light, and it is porous. It's very, very porous, almost like that lava stone, right? If you were to look at this stuff, pardon me.
Because basically, I paint at it and then just paint it like seeps away or it just goes somewhere. Like I could maybe paint a whole even layer, and then by the time I just turn the model back around, the paint's kind of maybe like evaporated or something like that.
Yeah, and so it seems like the color is being seeped like a sponge almost, right? And the colors disappeared.
Yeah, I put on maybe like 3-4 layers of just black base coat. Once I get the base coat on, like it's fine. But just the problem is that I thought that was the same as Forge World, because I don't know. You've seen the Dark Eldar Tantalus? I think it's like the big Forge World model. And I'm going to treat myself to that for my birthday. So I just was afraid that if those little models are seeping in that much paint, would the big one be the same, or is Forge World different? I haven't bought from Forge World yet.
Okay, Forge World, they do a proper resin. It's fair. It's got a bit of weight to it. Like it weighs more than the plastic kits.
We want it for the price you pay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, everybody used to make the joke before that Forge World used to be really, really expensive, but Forge World's prices don't change. And so as everything through inflation has gotten up, Forge World prices have stayed the same, and so Forge World prices really aren't that crazy anymore. But anyway, the Forge World resin is a good and proper resin. And like I said, through the manufacturing error, sometimes you get that improper cure, but that's very rare for that to happen. And if it does happen, they're really good about sending you a replacement. So they're really, really good in that regards. Forge World's really, really good. I like Forge World, and I've got tons of kits because I bought like a whole bunch of Eldar flyers, and I even bought the big vampire bomber from them, and you know what I mean. Like
supposedly they're being rolled over to Games Workshop too, so that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, well, their stuff will probably go a little bit more mainstream, and it's probably because the head company probably wants the 30K stuff, right?
Well, did you not see what I think Ash and Mini Wargaming put up, that the Adeptus Mechanicus is coming next week?
Yeah.
At Games Workshop?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's pretty much a sign like that. They'll be rolling over.
Yeah, exactly. But the fine cast, apparently that is being phased completely out. And
yeah, I usually just get it for the characters. Like I got what did I get? Oh, Champion of Corn.
Right.
For the fantasy model.
Yeah.
And that was just a nightmare to paint. I think I had to put like 5 base coats of black on the shield.
Yeah. Now,
so I just keep painting and just keep evaporating off, or it's just like a sponge.
Yeah,
So I was
see,
just afraid that if I got this massive forger model, I'd have to just get like a bucket of paint and drop it on it.
no, no, the Forge World, I will stand beside Forge World on this one. That no, their models are good. The resin they use is a proper resin. Games Workshop Finecast is some different recipe because they want to keep those models really light, right? Because it costs so much to ship all this stuff all over the place, right? And that's why they stopped doing pewter, because of the shipping costs. And yeah, Finecast was super light, but Finecast is an experiment that didn't work out. And yeah, so regular Forge World models are polyethanol resin. Anyway, it's they're proper resin kits. Everybody who does resin, like there's other companies who out there who do resin kits, they all pretty much do the same recipe of resin they use. And so you look like you're about to fall asleep on me.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to get to the camera, get the best angle.
You look like you're blinking pretty hard.
Me?
Yeah.
No,
I know it's late for you, but.
Oh, well, I usually stay up to like 2 a.m. anyways. I'm not one of those people, so it's fine.
One of those people.
One of those nocturnal people. But I'm still good. Still a few more. Yeah.
But yeah, so fear not in buying Forge World. I have always had positive experience with them. I had a bad kit once, and they sent me a complete kit again, like no cost. So because the kits don't cost them that much, so they make a huge amount of profit. Their profit margin on those kits are huge. So
yeah, they seem to be selling very well, especially with the new Horus Heresy.
Yeah, oh yeah, Forge World's making all sorts of money, so I don't think they can fret sending you a replacement part or even a whole kit again if something is messed up. So yeah, but Finecast, there's all sorts of variables there that I'm not 100% on, because the material is so soft and so light and it's almost non-existent, and it does have a porous quality to it, like lava stone. If you've ever seen lava stone, it's like really, really super porous, like tiny little holes, and it's basically like a sponge. And yeah,
well, that probably explains why it just seems like it was evaporating. That was annoying me. So I was very hesitant. That's why I wanted to ask you. I was like, no point me spending £110, which is
but don't worry about the Forge World stuff.
€50. So I was afraid that I won't be buying this massive thing if I can't paint it. No.
Yeah, no, don't worry about Forge World. I've bought many. Forge World's gotten a lot of money from me, and I've had a wicked resin addiction.
There's a picture of you on the wall smiling.
Yeah, no, well, not that bad. I wasn't that bad. I've got a buddy back up northern Ontario. He's got a wicked. He's got like 2 Reaver Titans, and he's got the Phantom Titan, and he dropped all sorts of money on Forge World. They know him by name. Yeah.
You hardly seen the competition they're running, though. Forge World.
No.
They have this big thing up about winning. This is the Reaver Titan.
Oh yeah. That was.
And you join their thing, but then see the winning date is on April Fool's Day, so they're probably just gonna say there's no competition. That's a bit hesitant. I signed up anyways by Noel. I'm just gonna say, because they never give anything free, so I know I'm just gonna say, April Fool's.
Yeah, April Fool's. Yeah, you fell for it. So, Steve, did you have any other questions for me about anything?
Yes, one more.
Okay.
The 2 box stuff I don't have painted are 2 sets of Tau, Fire Warriors, and whatever the scouts are called, Pathfinders.
Okay.
And I wanted to paint them. Usually I try and paint something not like Games Workshop. I'll paint in my own color scheme. But I wanted to paint them that kind of orangey color. I'm going to call it, I think it's Tau Light, ochre, whatever you call that.
Yeah.
And I based them anyways, and I put on, it's like XV88 is the base color I used, and then I don't know, maybe it's just the paint I got, but I've never seen paint as thin. I would put on maybe 4 layers of it, and it still was seen through, and by that stage I was losing detail.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't painted them, because usually I will paint everything. But they've been in the box for, I'd say,
Yeah.
9 months.
No, and you give your paints a good shaking before using them, and
Oh, I've done everything to get. I've tried
yeah,
using medium and everything. I just thought maybe it's just the base coat was wrong. Maybe it is. I put black, and then the XB it was kind of a darker brown or
well,
kind
yeah,
of orangey brown.
the XB88, it's a really light color, and it's not
Yeah,
terribly thin, but it's not like, yeah, running it on top of black. You do have to apply a couple coats, and when you
yeah,
if you
that was fine, but it's just the Towelite ochre is thinner again, and it just wouldn't go on. And I got really frustrated. I
yeah.
painted two of them like a green color, and they looked horrible, and I just threw them all in the box
Now, do you prime them
somewhere.
black?
I used to always prime my models in black, but then I watched. I think it was the series you did about where you used to one on each of the colors.
Yeah.
Now I rarely do black. I'll maybe do. I think find dryad bark for that more
Okay.
than brown. I like base and that, and then I know if I want a bright color, I'll do it in white. But I actually don't have any bright colored armies. I don't worry, but I'll get one. I was thinking of getting the what's the fantasy boxes, the Isle of Blood.
Yeah.
I know that's going to go soon when the new edition comes in.
Yeah.
I want to snap that up, and then I'll probably the high elves they're white and blue, so I'll probably paint them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. High elves. Yeah, you definitely want to prime that white. Like
Yeah,
there's silver on them, but I mean, you're gonna lay like Ironbreaker, which is like the mid-tone silver, because you know how you have
yeah.
Leadbelcher, which is really dark, and then you got what is
I
it?
bought it the other day.
Yeah, Runefang Steel is the really bright one.
Yes.
Ironbreaker is the in between, and yeah, you can just base coat that, like their armor plates, and then hit that with like a blue shade wash, and you'll get that blue tint on the metal. Give it a
Okay.
light dry brush of like Runefang Steel or even Necron Compound, and you'll be done.
Okay.
That's so easy to do. And
What's putting me off is painting all those furry Skaven. I'll get through them as well.
yeah, no, with the scales and stuff like that, yeah, that's just a quick dry brush. You just give
Yeah.
that a really light dry brush, and you'll catch those little edges and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
But
super noticing like not a single one of my armies is bright colored.
get some Harlequins.
I'd love to buy them, but they're probably the one models I would pay someone to paint for me. I could not. The closest thing I have is I have an Empire army, and I have them yellow and black. There's just the yellows, only the bright. Everything else is dark.
Right. Well,
Uh-oh.
Space Marines, you can paint to any color, really. You can paint
True, but
Space
I
Marines
got
bright.
the Dark Vengeance, so I stuck with the Dark Angels green.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I did like the color they have the Terminators, the kind of
Yeah.
creamy color.
Yeah, the
I don't
bone.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I just kept them green. Oh,
Yeah, so as far as those the XV88 and the Tau Ochre, yeah, they are fairly thin paints, and
yeah,
yeah, you do have to apply more than one layer. And even the paints that I've had, and I've gone through I think 2 bottles of them.
yeah,
Yeah, both bottles. I've had to apply more than one layer, but I always apply more than one layer anyway, regardless of the color, and
yeah,
really regardless of what my primer is as well, because I just always work with the colors in a thin state, just because
yeah,
you have a bit more control, and also you're able to lay down a nice smooth finish, applying more than one coat in very thin fashion, and of course you alternate your brush strokes so that you don't have brush
yeah.
strokes behind, and you know.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's all that. Of course, you're a Vault member, so you have access to like all these bits and parts of my
Yeah.
brain in the Vault.
The
Really,
problem is trying to find those bits and parts.
I know it's a
Literally
pain
like trying to
navigating.
find a needle in a haystack in a warehouse.
Yeah,
So,
it's a
I've
needle.
tried.
It's finding a needle in a stack of needles. That's what it is, and it's trying to find the right needle.
Yeah, so I've tried and then I was actually going to ask you a question about flesh, but then I just seen you put up the series today because after my Dark Eldar, I'm going to do an ogre army 'cause I like them, and I'm hopefully I can collect most of them before they fade out if they do.
Yeah,
They have all their big things, have like the stone horn, the thunder tusk. It's just they don't have a lot of models in the range too, so I can hopefully snap them up quick enough.
yeah. Well, and plus two, building a big army like of them is pretty easy because it's just all big models.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I was to play a proper army, I'd probably just do Grey Knights. I know they're a bit cheesy, but I I've seen people do like a 9 model army, and I have that here. Like, only one of my armies would be competitive. Otherwise, I bring chaos, and I have like 15 different units. Like,
Yeah,
you are
exactly.
useless, but I just can't buy the same ones. It just
Yeah. No, I hear you. I know. And again, it's that repetition, right? I mean, if you really wanted to have, 50 tactical units of Space Marines,
oh.
you'd buy them, right? But I mean, you're not interested. You're not that huge into the gaming, so that
Because even if I
aspect.
was in the game, and I'd definitely be one of those people that would have to collect loads of different armies. Like, I wouldn't be able to just like Dave with like 15,000 points of chaos. Like, I know when you're in the zone, but like I cry if I spend some of my money on all those same models.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah.
I
You probably have similar in Eldar anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I'm looking at like 50 Guardians, and it makes me sick looking at them. I've got like 30 Dire Avengers. That makes me look sick.
Yeah.
I've got like 30 jet bikes, and I get a little woozy. I've got like 6 fire prisms, wave serpents, and I got all sorts of stuff
Tanks is
still.
not too much. I don't mind. You can do tanks differently. Like but it's just when you see people who have like with Tyranids, and you have like 200 Mormagons, I'm just like,
Yeah, no, I know you'd get
you
ill.
have to do
Yeah, no, that's when you need to invest in an airbrush
that. Yeah.
and get that
But
stuff done.
probably the only model ever that I would buy 2 of, because I love it so much, is the Nemesis Dread Knight.
Yeah.
That was called, yeah, because you could make them look pretty different. It's probably the only model that I'm looking at now that I'd probably buy the second one of.
It
That
is
would
it
be
is a cool looking model. The other like the
yeah.
one model that I have yet to pick up for my Eldar army that I've been dying to pick up because I want to convert them is the Eldar Wraith Knight. The big
Which one is that now? Is that the
he looks like a
big one at Games Workshop, or
yeah, he's a Games
Steve?
Workshop. He's
Big
a
one?
big plastic kit.
Yes. Steve is like 2 of them, isn't he? The
Yeah,
only
yeah. And I've been because the way I like running them is just with the sword. And I had like all these kind of kung fu and samurai type poses in mind for them.
Yeah.
Like where he's got the sword up to his chest kind of thing, and he's kind of holding it like Conan kind of thing.
Yeah, I think Clarence is one where he's kind of down on a knee. That's a good conversion.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I'm sure if you kit bash, you do this thing. I love to use as many pieces of the kit as I can. Even if it doesn't make sense, like I'm sure if I went into a battle report and I'm looking like 15 weapons glued on, like, I don't care. It just looks cool, like
yeah.
I was got like my radar. I think it has like 15 extra blades just stuck on in all directions. So I just like to use them, like, cause me, I don't care. I have to look
Well,
at them,
you spent your good money on it, right? I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this model kit. So
exactly, like, no, that's what I do. I just try to use every bit I can. I've ruined some models by doing it, and then I'm like, oh, I have to rip it off because it just looks so stupid. But I don't mind. So, keep me happy.
Well, Steve, did you have any more questions for me?
I actually think that is everything on my list.
Everything? Well, okay. If you think of anything more, of course, we can do another one of these.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah. Maybe we'll pick one where.
Do one when you have the conversion of 3 men, and then I will have. So I will have found a head for Nagash by then.
Okay. Well, then there we go. That's
That's
man.
the deal,
We're
so.
making all sorts of deals here. This is. I didn't realize we were going to be wheeling and dealing all night here. Holy man.
That's what we do over here.
Well, Steve, I think we'll end it there. I think we had a pretty informative chat. I think everybody's gotten to know you a little bit better, and I think we've gotten to know each other a bit better. And
Most definitely.
yeah, and so it has definitely been a hoot. And so I think we will end this here. And so this
Perfect.
is Steve, aka the Strain. I almost said the Stain again.
Right.
The Stain. No, that's his brother, the Stain. And
No one likes him.
no one likes him at all. And so that was Steve, aka the Strain, aka in the vault he's known as Naooa. How does it go again?
I think it's Naooa. I'm just gonna go how Matt pronounce it because I have no idea.
Naooa. Yeah, he made it up and he can't even spell it. So there you go. And so if you want to sit down, have a conversation with me, my Skype handle's in the description below, and we will set up a time. We'll have one of these conversations. We'll get to know each other a little bit better. And, we'll sit down, we'll have a couple laughs, and, of course, we let the rest of the gaming community see your face, get to know you a little bit better. And, yeah. So, any parting words of wisdom for everybody, Steve?
I'm not a very wise person.
Okay, well, there you go.
Thanks for your time, Kris. That was really good talking to you.
That's all he had. That's all he had.
That's all I got.
That's all he's got.
Right. I'm all talked out.
All talked out. It's late for him anyway.
Yeah, that's for sure.